Yo, what's up, crypto community, Mr. Solution? Please, if you're new to my channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, kindly hit the like video. You could comment, or maybe there is a question you want to ask. You could ask the question there, or you want to connect with me on a personal level. I'm leaving the link to all my social media accounts. I'll be leaving them at the description section of the video. And also, if you're looking for a community of traders to join, you can join my Telegram channel, where I give daily insight on the market. Right, so on today's episode, we'll be looking at guide to overcoming your fears in trading. Fear is one of the things every trader faces. All traders do face fears, all right, because fear and greed are two integral emotions that will always come to play. And I don't know if this has happened to you before. You took a trade, and maybe that trade didn't go according to your plan. It didn't go to your favor. You discover that if you want to enter another trade, you'll be afraid, right? So we'll be looking at some of these different types of fears that traders do face, and then some of the panacea or the cure to these different types of fears, right? So number one, here we have the fear of the unknown. This fear of the unknown arises when you do not have an adequate knowledge of what you are, right, putting yourself into. When you don't have a good knowledge of what you are getting yourself involved in, right? And then people who usually face these fears are those people who are always listening and following all those social media gurus, all those people with huge followers, all those influencers on social media. Most of them, they're just buying into what those people are selling without doing their due diligence, without doing their research and all that. So what now is the cure for this fear? Here I said that the cure for this is expanding your knowledge. It's just like you're riding a car, right? You just got a car, and you really do not know much about that car. And if we discover that if someone tells you to go and drive that car, you'll be afraid because you practically have no knowledge of how car works. So to defeat this kind of fear, you need to expand your knowledge. Read, ask questions, research and all that. This is the way you can overcome this fear of the unknown. And also, you need to develop this questioning mindset, whereby you have to question whatever it is these people with huge following on social media, whatever thing it is they are saying. You need to have this curiosity mindset. Ask yourself, why is this person telling me to buy this, or why is this person telling me that this is the right coin I should buy at this point in time? All right, so like I said, the cure is expanding your knowledge. And then we have fear number two. We have fear of losing. Okay, you need to come to the understanding that losses are integral part of trading. Any trader that tells you that he or she does not lose, that person is lying to you, right? Because losses are part of the mix, right? It's part of the configurations of trading. But the thing is that this loss becomes catastrophic when you lose more than you make, right? In a situation whereby you find yourself in a losing streak, every day you're losing, that is where the problem comes in. But as for losing, it is part of the mix. It is part of the trading mix. It's part of the things we encounter in your trading journey. So you need to embrace these losses when they come. And then what is the cure for this? The cure for this is by properly managing your risk and also properly sizing your position. And if you're looking for a video that will help you to understand how to manage your risk and how to size your position, I've done a similar video. Just go through this Telegram channel. You just look for the very video I've done about how to manage your risk and how to properly size your position, so that you can acquaint yourself with the knowledge of how to properly manage your trade and also size your position, right? So the next fear we have here is fear of being wrong, right? You don't need to be afraid of this, because market is nothing other than interplay of probabilities. There is nothing is guaranteed. There is nothing is cast in stone. Even the best chartists, the best analysts always make mistakes. When we analyze the market, when we do our fundamental analysis, our technical analysis, please, we are just conscious of the fact that what we are dealing with is a case of probability. It could go to our favor, it could not go to our favor. So when this thing is at the back of your mind, you don't need to be afraid of being wrong, right? And then, because you could be wrong, that is where we we have things like using stop loss and all that. Okay, so now what is the cure for this fear of being wrong? Here I said that the cure for that is what? By embracing probabilities. That is the cure number one. Embrace probabilities. Understand that what you're dealing with is a case of probability, that even your after you must have done your analysis and all that, you're still dealing with a case of probability. It could go right, it could go wrong. Okay, and then the next cure I outlined here is that you should adopt high win rate systems. So what this means is that you can only undertake a trade where you know that your chances of winning are far higher than your chances of losing. Like, your chance of winning is far higher than your chance of losing. That is what I mean by adopting a high win rate system. In a situation whereby you're risking 1% to make 6%, or you're risking 2% to make like 8%. Now that is a high win rate system kind of trading. Okay, you could also decide to automate it, but this one is for large scale traders. Okay, this one is for large scale traders. Okay, so you could adopt high win rate system, and also you need to embrace probabilities if you are suffering from fear of being wrong. And then the next fear we have here is what? FOMO. FOMO actually means fear, like jumping into a trade, right? To FOMO into a trade means to, enter a trade because probably you think you're missing out of that trade, then you have to jump in. FOMO simply means fear of missing out. Fear. F is for fear, O is for off, M is for missing, and then the next zero here is for what? The next O is for what? Out. Okay, so FOMO simply means fear of missing out. Fear of missing out arises when you want to jump into a trade because probably you feel that if you miss this trade, that you're going to lose a lot of money. Many persons have been burnt. Many of FOMO people, many FOMO hunters, they've all been hurt. I was once a FOMO trader. Okay, so maybe you see this big candle, this long green candlestick, and you think the trade is gonna pump, and you think the trade is gonna continue to go up, and then what you do is that you jump into that trade. All right, so that is one of the things, that's one of the fears that traders do face. So what is the cure for that? I said that the cure for that is by setting alert, right? So if you're monitoring this trade, you're monitoring the chart, and it's a trade you want to take, and then you're waiting for everything to align very well, you are waiting for the setup to be congruent with what you already have in your mind, right? So how to do this so that you can overcome this FOMO is by what? By setting alert. Let's say you want to enter at $21 and the current price is what? The current price is 25, right? So you want to enter at 21. You could just set your alert at 21, so that once it gets to $21, your alert will go off. Some applications, some trading apps have these features. Apps like TapTrader has it. TradingView also has it. Even some exchanges also have these kind of features where you set an alert, so that once the trade gets to that very level, you'll be alerted, and then you can then decide if the trade is the one you want to take, or maybe you want to sit it out. So FOMO, the cure for FOMO is what? Setting alert. All right. Okay, and then the final one here is fear of giving back profits, right? So this one usually affect those traders who are trend traders, like who are following trend. Like, you want to enter the trade at the beginning of the trend, and then they want to exit at the end of the trend, right? So the fear that most of these traders usually face is what? The fear of giving back profit. Imagine a situation whereby you checked your trade, and then you are up about, let's say, 70%, and then you come back again, your 70% has dropped to like let's say 25%, right? So the next thing that will happen to you is that you become afraid, because you don't want to give back to the market all the profit you've made so far. I have a trade that has been running for close to 4 days now, right? It's just a little trade I took. I just decided to leave the money there. It's been running for 4 days. Sometimes I will check it, I'll be up like 102%. Then the next day, or maybe the next hour, I go back, I check, I will see myself, I'll drop from that 102% to like 72%. And then sometime I will go back again and see 200 and something percent. I am not really afraid, because that trade is a trend following trade, right? So assuming I was afraid, what would be the cure for this? The cure for this would be what? Using stop loss, right? Okay, you could use stop loss, so that if the trade starts falling to maybe the level you don't want to stay in, the stop loss will take you out. Okay, you could also use trailing stop loss, right? You could use trailing stop loss. You could use maybe any form of stop loss that will help you to take your profit at every point in time, so that it doesn't fall to the level where you become so panic and then you lose everything you've made, you lose all the profit you make back to the market, right? So it is recommended that you use either you use stop loss or you use trailing stop loss. All right, guys, so these are the various types of fear I've discovered that traders do face, and then I decided to put it up here so that anybody so that my subscribers and you all can watch and then learn how to overcome this fear. And then before we round off, let me recap again. First of all, we have fear of the unknown. And what is this? What is the cure for this? The cure for this is what? The cure for the fear of the unknown is that you are supposed to expand your knowledge. All right, so the cure for fear of the unknown is by what? Expanding your knowledge. And then the second fear is fear of losing. And then what is the cure for this is by properly sizing your position and managing your risk. And then we have the third fear, which is fear of being wrong. And what is the cure for this? You have two cures. You could embrace probabilities, right? Just try to embrace probabilities, understand that market is nothing other than a game of probabilities. And also you could adopt a high win rate system. And then the fourth fear we have is FOMO, fear of missing out. And what is the cure for this? You set alert. And then finally we have fear of giving back profit. And then what is the cure for this? I said you could use your stop loss or you could use your trailing stop loss so that you don't give back to the market all the profit you've made from it. All right, guys, so I hope the video has been educative and insightful enough. And then if you like my content, kindly hit the subscribe button, share the video, and then I will see you in the next episode. Hands ahead. Salute.